All right. This is StreamYard for you. Let me say good evening and welcome to yet another Situation Update live chat series. And of course, with me this evening, me, JP Shimon, is a very beautiful and gracious guest, Mrs. Jean Johnney-Findlay. Welcome to the show, and I'm so very happy you said yes.
Yes, yes, yes. It's one of my pet peeves. So, and you're one of my favorites. Yes, by a lot of, I should say, association also. I like what you're doing, and I'm always game to helping to develop young people, share ideas with persons. Because, people helped me. I have to continue that trend.
Beautiful, pay it forward, and I'm so grateful for that attitude. Before we jump into the meat of things, let me just go on and say good evening and thank you to our partners, Diamond Groceries Incorporated, the major supporter of the movement here. Of course, if you do not know, they have two locations. In, they have two locations, one here in Diamond and the other in Talia Court. And of course, I want to say howdy and greetings to our graphic designer team, our digital management team, Concept Solutions, and JR Design. All right. And let me say howdy to the folks jumping in. Hansel Question, me glad me see it was reach. Thank you guys for joining.
I sometimes I'm normally first at his programs too, I guess, right? Right, Crush? Yes.
Yeah. All right. So go ahead, guys, share it. You could join the conversation wherever you're viewing us on YouTube or Facebook. All right. So with that said, Auntie Jean, before your signature management of the Korea City Store and Food Express outlet, you trained at the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Teachers College. Uh, what was your teaching experience like, and what spurred your transition over to corporate St. Vincent?
I had some wonderful years of teaching, met some wonderful students, had awesome head teachers that I worked with, co-workers. It was really wonderful. And then, through the years, I built a lot of relationships with my students. I was involved in community groups, community organizations. And then I moved into skills training, which was one of the things that I, chose really to be my forte, was to help to develop people because I always see social skills are really lacking from way back when to now. And then I served on several women's organizations, and we spoke a lot about developing women, and that's where I really got into how social man and niche in the modeling and focusing a lot on personal development. It was so much to say, get up on stage and do stuff, but you had to be a package, and that's what I've been always driving. You must be a package. You just can't say, okay, I have my academics, I good, I have my degrees, I went to college and all of that, and we can do this. But it is a package. Your personality has to go along with your knowledge.
Beautiful. Your passion for personal development is as synonymous as your drive to cultivate and maintain a certain elegance. Was it your girls' high school schooling that aroused such passion?
I before high school, I had an aunt. Well, yes, my mother, my siblings. I should really say a lot of it about my siblings, especially there's one particular brother, Lennox. He was the one closest to me here, and when I would dress, he looked at me from a man's view, and oh, you can't wear that, and I had to always be in style. My aunt was fashionable. I had siblings overseas. They were sending me all the latest fashions. I was on stage from a very early age, so I was involved in fashion and modeling and all of that. But they had to groom me. And even now, when I dress, I still need to get that other opinion. Is this okay to go out with? Because My brother used to drill it in me, you know. I mean, he liked looking at ladies, but he didn't really like guys looking at his sister, I would think. And he would say, no, 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 you can't leave here like that. And I'm like, mommy. I think, well, mommy, just say your brother, change it, you know, that sort of thing. So I had family. I had other persons I worked with in the community. And then again, my aunt, she was just so fashionable all the time. You know, your hat, bag, and shoes to match and that sort of thing. And I always try, you know, put that out. Always try to match, yes, and just look good, look presentable. It's not about showing off your skin or, you know, as you say, the extra assets, but being a well put together package, looking good from head to toe.
You mentioned Nije in your introductory spiel just now. Could you tell us a little bit about how exactly it was conceived and is it still active?
Yes, it's still active, parts of it. Misha came out, first of all, we had House of Jaman, Mandy Haydock, and Janelle Young, and I as models. We found the need to have an agency, an organization, because we were doing a lot of shows, you know, for businesses, for people. And then we said, you know, we needed something organized and uniformed. And then we formed House of Jaman. After a while, that went through. But I still knew there was need for this personal development and still to do shows. It was my passion. By then, I started traveling, doing shows around the region, forming alliances with Richard Young, Russell Lake in St. Lucia, where we formed Mannequins Caribbean. And you know that as also training persons for pageant and then their business places and individuals who asked me to assist in personal development for their staff, or even people who just wanted some help. You'll be surprised that there were people in, as we would say, high places who figured, well, I didn't have it all together. But I learned at a very early age about table settings, and when you go out, I had there's this book called the Vanderbilt Book of Etiquette, a very old book that they've done editions and editions, and how to go about these things. My father was involved in tea meetings, and I went out with him in speeches and all of that for, you know, how to present yourself on stage. And I look, you know, very often at our artists, and there's some of our artists would tell you, Auntie Jean would say, listen, you gotta get it right, you gotta pull that package together. And that's how, you know, from Miche training here, training there. A lot of times I just do it for pleasure, for the fun, to help persons, but then I also have the business side. I had to close the modeling agency, the training, because persons didn't want to train as regular. If we had a show, the venue, the training venue was packed. It was packed. We didn't need models. You know, we didn't want models were there. If it was not show season, hardly anybody. We're trying to work to a graduation program, hardly anybody. People wanted to be on stage, and I said, no, this is not what Misha is about. It's a total package development. You know, they have to come and do speeches and practice how to speak, sit down, dining, your health, exercising, you know, even just to balance your mind, meditation, you know, skills and all of that. So it's a lot.
Beautiful. So you've opened the door for a beautiful segue. You started talking a little bit about your experience learning these things, etiquette concerned. Could you please define for us exactly, you know, what is this professional personal etiquette? What is this? And why should young Vincentians need to know about such old-fashioned concepts, as one might want to put it?
You see, the culture is changing and it's becoming a little more relaxed, but still, you need to know. You never know where you're going, and you could go to dine with the king and queen. I remember many years ago, through my involvement in the Road Track organization, I went to England and we had an international conference there. And I was seated at the table with the mayor. Nice forks, spoons laid out there, and all the plates and the bowls. Proper full setting. Where would you start? And I learned you always start from the outside. Now there's some persons they could only eat with a spoon. because that's how they grew up. They didn't know about even basically how to hold a knife and fork. And we need to know that you never know where you can reach. We have one of our international athletes out there whose mother brought her at a very early age. The young lady wasn't really interested in modeling, but her mother said, I need her because I know she's going places. I need her to know the basics. But she came in, she did a little modeling, but she learned the basic etiquette standards. And I know she was very comfortable going out there to sit and eat. While I was a teacher, I taught social skills. And there are times we would have a meal. Everybody will bring something to eat, and I warn them, you're not going to laugh at whoever had what. Some persons got together, they put together their meal package, and we sat there in school at lunchtime and we ate. You had to eat with knife and fork. We had to make sure you could hold a knife and fork properly, how to cut. And then the English style, the American style. And even as you know, traveling, I always see the Chinese, some people would sit, even when people say, oh, you belch after the meal. For some persons, oh, that's bad manners. But for some cultures, when you belch, you say, oh, yes, it was good. It went down really well. You see, so that's it. We gotta learn how to fit into any social setting. If you go on the block, how to eat from a bashi with a little scoop and so on, I could do that. You know, and if you have to go at a level, how you have to present yourself, how you sit and eat.
It's interesting you mention the situation where you're sitting with a mayor, and there's a whole layout of from left to right. Again, how do you start? Where do you start? How difficult is
How
it
to
to
start from
learn these
out.
skills? I mean, does it take?
No, it's
Sorry, go ahead.
easy. It's easy. It's easy. Once you know you start from the outside, and you move in, and if you're having, they'll ask you what you're having, and according to what you order, they move away some of the cutlery. But your spoon, your salad fork, because some places, we here we eat our salads with our meal. Some places you have the salad first, so just you only eating your salad and you're like, gee, some of us we can't handle that. But you have your salad fork and you have your salad first, and then you go into the appetizer, the main course, and all of that. So
Why do you think? Sorry, go ahead.
just
Go
it's
ahead. Go ahead.
something
Sorry.
people need to learn, and people feel that they won't reach. Oh, I have no need. I have no need. I won't reach there, but you never know. You never know. The floodgate is open. A lot of our young people, they're traveling, even when they're going on to represent athletics, the little camps here, the little camps there. You never know. And so that's why I always encourage persons to learn the different things, do the right thing.
To be that full package. Uh,
Yes.
why do you think is it that these etiquette trainings are not more taught more widely across our school system?
It's not, I don't think it's really taught as much anymore. I know we used to do that long ago. I'm not sure the extent of which it would, they would do it. I know I would have gone to a couple schools, and I know the schools would have had, like, the teaching the basic soft skills, the social graces, and, presenting yourself, speech, and teamwork, and so on. But even like the simple thing, sitting down and dining, I'm not sure how many schools, you may talk about it, but to actually practice it, that's the difference.
Ah, how important are things like dress code? I just you mentioned soft skills, deportment to young Vincents, and especially those um,
Yeah,
you know
yeah, it's, you see, persons, the people who figure I gotta present myself right, and to some they look at, I find we pick up a lot of styles, exposures that we don't know exactly where to wear them. We got some pretty clothes from overseas, I gotta wear them. Some person, I always say underwear is underwear and should not be seen. So you see the ladies with the brassiere showing, okay, yes, they have this lovely bra, and I gotta show it To me, your bra is your underwear to be worn under your clothing. It should not be seen. I say even like polka dots and all of that, yeah, under white top. If it there's some fashion statements that have a very light top, and then you have the accent piece underneath. That's different. But you're just coming into town and you see all the bus, and they're just looking at this lady and they say, Lord, if she only bend over a little more, all will come popping out. And that's another story there that even for health reasons, I had to speak to persons about wearing proper brassieres, because a lot of women have breast cancer and they don't realize it's the bra they're wearing that will have contributed to breast issues. That goes off on
Wow.
a tangent. Yes. Similarly, I would have taught my guys in school way back when you guys like to wear, you have on your underwear, you have your boxer shorts have a lining, and then you have on your pants. Because you figure you need to keep covered and keep things down. But then you don't understand all that set of clothing there, your sperm count. The heat decreases your sperm count. All those things it has to do with your dressing. But going back to, ladies, so revealing, you leave little to the imagination. And sometimes I don't mind, I say any size, any shape, but you must wear the clothing to suit. You need to wear the clothing to suit.
Hmm.
Your skirt's so short that you're sitting down and you're pulling down, pulling down. I've had people coming to me looking for a job, and the little tank tops, fine straps, and a little mini tight skirt, and you come in to me at careers to look for a job. What kind of job are you looking for? Careers is now boutique. That's all because some places, yes, that is acceptable if you're in a fashionable kind of environment, and you need to know which environment you're going into. That you must present yourself. Your clothing must also be
That's
comfortable
that's
and
that's that's
practical. And practical. I
yes. Go
people
ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
wear a heavy jacket, a heavy, heavy fur-lined jacket, and you're wearing these boots in hot St. hot St. Vincent. Now, we are a Caribbean cotton kind of clothing. Yes, if you're in air-conditioned office and your uniform is a jacket. Yes, but at the same time, I don't advocate you wearing armpits because your hands going up, you're stretching over persons, your body odors, you're perspiring. Not advisable. So all those things with your attire come into play for your workplace. Now, you want to say, oh, this is so old fashioned and old fashioned. It's not old fashioned. You're sitting down, you're bending down, you leave little to the imagination. So I encourage my persons, I
And this
say,
does not
yeah,
as it relates to the dress code. It's not just for women per se.
no,
I kind of want to drive that point home, if you may, and continue with your point.
your brand underwear. Your pants down below and you're seeing underwear. So I say, the guys, man, not that you're saying pull up your pants like, okay, but we need a certain look. Present yourself neatly. And that's one of the things when people come to me for an interview. I say, present. I look for your presentation. I don't look to see if you're in a high fashion, that sort of thing, or how expensive, what kind of, your brand and so on. But if, a nice shirt and a top or a nice pants, the cut up pants, no, it's not for every work location.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead. I think we're back.
Okay,
I'm
yeah.
using two multiple devices, and one of them seems to be sticking, and the other one seems to be running. So
That's
it's sort of
yeah, so that's what it's like with virtual. Yeah.
yes, yes, yes. Yes, sorry. You were making the point. You were reinforcing that point as asked, as it relates to the dress code. And it applies
Yes,
to men as well as women.
yes. I'm saying I don't need to see your underwear and the cut up pants and the cut up pants. They're for certain locations, not necessarily all workplaces. So that's why I advise, you gotta know where you're working, where you're going to look for a job, and present yourself accordingly. It's not like it or just come in town and I decide to pass in by you to see if you want somebody to work. First impressions are important. Are important.
Before I feel the next question, let me just remind our viewers or our audience that you can be a part of this conversation. You can share your questions, your comments, whether you're viewing on entertain those questions, and I'm sure Auntie Jean would answer as best as can. Talk to me about deportment. And for me, this is a nice little this is an interesting question for me as a person who's been fired for saying the wrong thing to the wrong people. How does a young Vincent, potential employee or even somebody who's employed right now, what should they pay attention to as it relates to workplace behavior and this sort of thing?
I always say, even though we are a dialect country, per se, but we are still a standard English world. We operate in a standard English world. So first of all, you must speak proper English. And that's why I say people need to practice more to speak proper English. I'm not saying that, I'm not really saying standard English, which is really what it is. But you must speak properly because that is the universal understanding language. Sometimes I would even hear my staff that even though they're speaking with one another and I overhear, I would say to them, hello. And sometimes I'll correct them on the spot.
We
And I
do
say, what did
apologize
you
for the
say?
quality of the stream at this point. I think there's some issues on Auntie Jean's end. Of course, this evening we're talking in this live chat series about things personal and professional development oriented. Okay, here she's back. All right, go again, Auntie. We lost you for a little bit.
No, I know I'm still connected to my high speed. I have to call my provider. Yeah, what I'm saying is that we need to speak properly, practice to speak properly, so that when we really have to speak properly, you're not uncomfortable. I treat any customer that comes through the door or anybody I really meet, I treat them as humans, as normal, and I provide mutual respect. I expect respect and I give respect. So I'm not really concerned about my customer's total appearance. I'm concerned about making sure they get the service that they require. And I expect people to be mannerly respectful. You have to be disciplined. You have to understand the work world. Some things are even chewing gum. You're speaking to a customer and you're chewing a gum and you're bursting the bubbles. Your earphones in your ear, you have in your AirPods, and we're not sure if you're hearing us when we speak to you. And sometimes you're saying, you're not. I said something and you're asking what? What? Because you have in your earphones. So all those things are what you gotta be mindful for when you're on the workspace. You have your cell phone, your mobile phone ever present. It's visual. Even when you come into an interview, your body language and your phone there and you're talking, but you're still glancing at your phone. That's not workplace. Some workplaces say no cell phones are allowed. Some places allow it.
Okay, we seem to have
reason.
lost you again, Auntie Jean. If you're hearing me, we want you to take that point again because that's a very interesting one as it relates to chewing gum and how that could interfere with your interaction with customers.
Yeah, I'm saying you're chewing your gum and you're bursting bubbles and you're hearing the sounds. But how can you really be interacting with a customer like that? In addition to you have your mobile phone, it's in your hand, your earbuds. Where's your focus? You should be focusing on who you're dealing with directly in front of you. And simply even greeting a customer, hi, hello, what can I help you with today? or did you then find what you're looking for? Things like that. It's important.
I want to come back to take another look at customer service because I hear the remnants of those sentiments in this particular response. But before we go there, let's take a look at pre-job guidelines, if you may. Now, I've often encountered the conundrum, and I've heard it said by potential employees. At one point, I was a young man just fresh on the job with virtually no work experience. Let me share this comment here. Hansel Crush is saying even the way you answer the phone is
important. Yes.
Yeah. So the thing is, young potential employees are often told that job experience is needed for particular jobs. But of course, the irony is, how could you have job experience when you're just now hunting? So the question is, what can potential employees do to improve their chances of landing that job? How should they prepare? What would your advice be?
I often ask persons, not well, yes, you would look for some sort of experience, but experience could come with just in your basic involvement in community organizations. You develop your leadership skills right there. That's where sometimes you're fresh out of school, but were you in your school, your school club? Did you were you a part of student council? Did you hold a position? So that tells you, okay, that this person is a team player. This person has some knowledge and discipline how to operate in an organization. When I started as a teacher, I taught for 17 years before I went to careers, and I did not have that retail business experience, but I had from school, from teaching, from organizations, from music. So I was good, that's how actually I was able to bounce off of my experiences there and get in and land that particular job. So you tell them that something. So a conversation and your extracurricular activities that helps a lot. Persons even were you able to
Beautiful.
get summer jobs, Christmas jobs? You come with a glowing application. But yes, we read the applications. I know we go through applications, and it tells a story. But very often we know persons download, have somebody write the application for them. And but what can you tell me about your experiences involved in organization? That helps even more. You can't say, okay, that you want to do a secretarial thing now, but you cannot type, you don't have knowledge of the computer, things like that. So if somebody even wants to come to cash, are you familiar with the computer? So those experiences are what very often. But according to the level of the job you're looking for, yes, it's good to have prior experience.
Okay. Let me again just put a beautiful plug-in for Diamond Groceries Incorporated, two outlets in Diamond and in Calico. If you have to do supermarket, my good friends, is what I always say, make it a Diamond Grocery experience. You're not going to regret it. My word, right? And of course, for our digital media partners, Concept Solutions, they offer some serious support behind the scenes, as well as JR Design. Uh, Auntie Jean, what about interpersonal relationships? I got the job, but I can't stand the supervisor, or the supervisor can't stand the best bone in a me. What do I do?
Well, there's always nobody is going to like. It's human. You have some, persons would have a little more liking based on personalities. Sometimes we have personality clashes. I tell my people upfront, listen, if you upset me, if you annoy me, if you do something I don't like, I will let you know. we clear it, and we move on from there. Because we are here to do a job. We have tasks to carry out, and personality clashes will always happen. You will build bonds, you will build friendships. Some persons will gel better. But that's where it's when you work as a team from an organization, because you know how to handle all these interpersonal conflicts, and you try as much as possible to avoid the conflict. You know what upsets somebody, you don't do it. And if somebody, we have to be adults, we have to be big enough to say, this is nice, this was nice, this upset me, you clear it and you move on. But that's again, respect also comes in, respect for one another. You know, some people come in and they
Uh-huh.
feel, well, okay, I'm an adult, you shouldn't speak to me in a certain way. But sometimes, you may tell somebody something nicely, you may say once, twice, and when you have to speak over and over, then you have to be a little more harsher because you also have a job to manage. As a supervisor, you have to make sure that you manage within the policies and the frameworks of the organization. So if I tell you you're not supposed to wear slippers, you're not supposed to wear no stripped up jeans once, two, three, four times. So the fifth time you're not a child. So you have to you might speak a little harsh and you'll say, but who's she telling I can't wear this? This is my pants. I don't have a uniform. But when you came for the job, we spoke about these things and you were good with coming into the workplace with it. Right?
We're back? Okay.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, we are
Jippy,
experiencing these little breaks in our transmission this evening.
second, but I'm seeing, I'm Floyd.
You see me just fine, right? Maybe it's on my end. I don't know. I don't
Like
know.
a couple times I see
Okay.
your screen go, but
I have a
I'm
question here Matthew's. You've been good. All right, beautiful, beautiful. So we'll keep jamming. We'll keep jamming. Matthew's Mariah asking, I believe, a question on customer service. How do you deal with a customer that is disrespectful? Let me put that up there, and then I'll come back with my question. So here's a question for you, Auntie Jean, from Matthew's Mariah. How do you deal with a customer that is disrespectful?
I tell my staff the customer is right to a point. And I will let customers know, yes, they have a lot of rights. We feel the customer is always right. But some customers, they want so much, they demand so much. Can you imagine a customer will take something off the shelf and like years ago, I'll show you this experience. There's a guy, he bought a milk. He came back, he used it, he used from it, but he said no. When he used it, he realized it was the wrong milk and he wanted us to take it back. So I said, no, you opened it, you used it. We can't take it back. And he walked around and he started emptying the milk powder on the floor. Now, was that customer right? He was wrong. But I said to him, if this satisfies you, if you think that is your satisfaction, we would not have taken it and used it. We would have dumped it, but we would not have dumped it in that style. And I know he was shocked with my response. A few days after, he came back and he apologized because he said when he went home and he told his wife how he just emptied it there for us. And the wife said, you did that? And he said, yes. And Miss Finley, thing and Miss Finley spoke to him and what she said and so on. I said, no, I should never have done that. But I was vexed because I thought you wanted. We also have persons who experience a different level of customer service overseas. You use a product and you're not satisfied, you want to return it. Products can be returned or exchanged for various reasons, but it is within reason. You cannot expect to use something and then it's not what you wanted and you bring it back. So the customer is not always right. Sometimes you just have to step away, ask for an excuse, or you say, okay, I'm not understanding where you think, can I have my supervisor or somebody else assist you? Because there seems to be a problem here with us.
Ah, so it's about how you do it,
Yes, it's
that
always
reaction,
very simple.
how you
Don't
manage that reaction.
as I say, fire cannot out fire. So you have to have some water or the right product to, the foam, whatever, to out the fire. So you need to know if this person is getting to this level, as Michelle Obama said, when they go low, you go high. You do not fight back and ready to war back because that takes it. And then you have other persons even trying to buy in on the situation, some for good, some for bad. But it's the most important thing is to try to diffuse the situation as quickly as possible and as calmly, politely, and respectfully as possible.
Okay. Uh, while we are on customer service, uh, 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 could you maybe walk us through the effect of quote unquote good customer service on a business's sales from your experience?
Customers like to be treated as if they're the only person you're dealing with and they mean something to you and their business. And that's why we're here to make everybody feel special. And it's important that you take time with your customers, exceed their expectations because you want the customers to come back. I tell my staff the customers are the ones that pay you. So it is important for us to offer good customer service. Without that, without the customers coming in and coming back and even customer referrals, you have problems. The customers won't come back. They will word of mouth and experiences that really helps to sell your business even more. So you're greeting your customers. How can I help you? What can I help you find? You make sure they're comfortable with their purchase. You don't tell lies to get a sale. You're honest. You must have your product knowledge to explain to them what the product can do for them. And even, sometimes what you can pair with the product to make it even work better. And, make sure when they leave and they're satisfied.
Awesome. Should customer service be limited to the customer service reps in the
Oh
business?
no, oh no, no. Well, everybody that works in our organization, we are a customer service agent. So besides my job description being manager, I'm a customer service agent. Everybody sells, everybody makes sure the customer is happy, from the security at our doors to any position you work with, because I tell them anywhere you gotta work, you gotta work because you can't be working in an organization and because you're not the first person or supposed to be dealing with customers, you just pass a customer straight. Not you see a customer sit down, waiting and not even say, are you getting through? Are you getting help? Are you okay? Or simply hello, a greeting, good morning, good afternoon. So it's everybody's business. It's everybody's responsibility.
Hmm. Um, uh, uh, we are in the home stretch here, guys. So please send your comments, questions, no matter where you're viewing from, YouTube or Facebook, and we will feature those. But Auntie Jean, do you have any tips on how to maintain the professionalism, even though some persons may now have to work from home, given the rising numbers of local COVID numbers that we are seeing?
Many, many moons ago, I was at a workshop with a lady from America. I cannot remember her name. She had her business at home. She had her offices at home. And she said every morning she walked out her front door and walked around her yard to the side door into her office. It was not that she could have gone from internally, but she needed to show up for work. She attired herself properly. She did not go in and saying she's wondering if customers, anybody's going to come in, even though you had to call to make an appointment. She made sure she dressed up and she showed up. I can proudly stand that I'm properly dressed because it sets your mood. You know, people, if you some people are working from home and yes, you want to be comfortable, but according to what you have on, so in your PJs, it tends to like yeah, laid back and relaxed and that sort of thing. It's always important, and we've seen some, little faux pas when some persons thought they were off camera and then they check and they got their attire where they walk to, and you will see those, little unfortunate incidents. But it's always good to, your attire helps to set your mood, helps to make you feel better, energize you how you feel. And it's important. People also have to understand that yeah, not every home is so established with private areas. And we've seen, some persons, they have their children, they're juggling the children, homeschooling, plus theirs. But at the same time, we have to be as professional as possible. Your sound, what's your surrounding sounds, and you can be eating and doing, yes, you could have your sip of tea or whatever, your water. But be cautious of your surroundings and always try to be professional. It's not a friendly one-on-one
Awesome.
chit chat.
Yeah, go ahead, finish your thing. Is that a
Not
one
a
on one?
one, friendly chit chat. You're doing business, so you need to be professional.
Beautiful. My final question. I don't know what the network has in store for you, but my final question is a money question. I call it about the money, right?
Yeah.
As a parent and business manager, could you please offer some advice to Vincentian employees, whether young ones, potential ones, or employees who've already been in the system for years, on at least two of the best money management strategies you've come across?
Um, it's always about trying to even save, you know, well, basically you set aside, this is my expense for the week. These are my must-haves. Transportation, if you have to pay your transportation. This is my salary for the week. I encourage persons to even bring more meals from home so that you save that $10. Some persons, I don't know how they can do it, spend like $25 a day because they come, they have to buy breakfast, they have to get lunch, and some of them they go home. But you bring your meal from home, you eat healthier, you know what you're bringing, it's home cooked, it's to your specifications, to your diet, and your breakfast, even if you walk with your breakfast from home and that sort of thing. But it's important that this is, I need to save. These are my must-haves. It's not everything you see on the shelf or advertised online that you must have. It's not everywhere you're going you must have a new outfit. Your outfits are not disposables. So when I don't mind repeating, and I don't care who would have seen it before. I repeat years upon years because I also advise that you buy what I call timeless clothes, and sometimes you buy, you make a little extra and you buy quality that can last you. So you say, okay, they have the shoes $20, $25. How long can it last?
I'm so sorry. I lost you there again after. Just take it back to repeat the years upon years. I lost you just after that. Could you just go again, please?
So I was saying to buy timeless clothes. You heard that? You were sticking on me.
Yes, go ahead. From there.
I'm saying to buy timeless clothes. So clothes that can
I'm
last.
so sorry. Mm-hmm.
Okay? Yeah, I'm saying buy clothing that can last. They're timeless. They're quality. Because when you buy something that you can just get two, three, or four wearings from that, that's where a lot of times your money is going. And you're not sure. Okay, your friends say, okay, we have to have a new outfit. You don't know where they're getting their money from. You don't know their expenses. So I encourage persons, even if it's a $50 a month from your salary, or $20 a month, or $10, $15 a week, to save it. So you have to I don't say necessarily a percentage, because you have to know what you have to put out, your groceries and that sort of thing. You have to know how much is your mobile bill. So when I tell people every minute you're running to top up, it's better you just buy a plan. Do a monthly plan. Because when you top up at $5 and then you quarrel, oh, by the time I put on the $5, it's gone. But you didn't remember or realize that you have underlying programs that eating up the data. So by the time you load it, that takes back off the money, things like that. So, you don't have to have the latest cell phone. You don't have to have every year they gotta change the phone. They gotta get the updated phones. No, you got those things you gotta watch. And like I say, it's not every event you have to be
All right.
there. So saving is important. I wish I had saved more in my younger days. I spent a lot of money traveling, but the experiences, the friendships formed, and what I learned through those years of traveling, it was priceless. But no, you can't just jump. Those days used to pay like $125 to fly over to St. Lucia, $200-300 to Martinique. No, it's talking like thousands. So it's unfortunate.
It is. What is not unfortunate for me is the opportunity to share this conversation with you tonight. I really want to thank you so very much again for saying yes.
Yeah.
And I'm chuckling because I saw your Facebook post
Oh,
of the
you know,
promo, and
you
it
know,
read, he
yeah.
asked nicely.
No, actually, I was watching a movie and there was this proposal going on. So I said, oh, this is a nice thing, because some people say, he said, remember, a lot of people don't read all the things, so that would have caught some attention. I said, that's it. Yeah. And then he said,
Beautiful
which one
marketing
is
strategy, man.
your favorite? Yeah, so I was happy to share the moment with you also. Yeah.
I can't let you go without letting you share your final thoughts on the conversation. So please feel free. Go ahead.
Just want to encourage persons to, I'm on this part of people appreciating, respecting, caring for one another even more. It transcends from your home into the workplace, into your daily life. It helps with your personal and your mental balance. And in order to operate in the workforce, we have to care about one another. In order to operate as a nation, to develop yourself, you have to first care about you, where you want to go, what you want to do. There's no place for the envy and the jealousy. If we work together and help to build one another, we get further. By the time you're trying to pull down somebody, you so caught up with how we're pulling down that person that you forget your real purpose. What is your why? Why am I here? What am I learning? What am I doing? How can I develop myself? What do I need to do? So what is your purpose? That's important. So when you show up on mornings, what is my purpose for coming in here? Some persons, we had some moments where we were able to do morning. We used to do like a 5-minute morning session. And one of the things we say, why are we here today? Why did you show up to work? Some people say, well, I have bills to pay, I need to make money to take care of myself and my family and things like that. That's important. So we gotta learn to care, help one another, support one another even more, and strike your balance. Your mental balance, your mental faculties is what's important and to help to get you through. Right?
All right. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you again so very much. To our audience as well, thank you so very much for being a part of tonight's experience. Of course, another live chat series will come to you next week, Thursday at 9. Stay tuned to our platform. You can know who that guest is. We're working on a few ideas, but I don't want to let the cat out the bag yet because it's not properly confirmed. All right? Until we see you guys, please
Great.
rising. We beg you, please do what sanitize, distance yourself if you can, where you can, and wear your mask properly. That is put it over your nose anymore. All right? I
Yes.
just have to say these things sometimes.
Mhm. Yes.
Yeah.
We have to do what we have
All
to
right.
do.
So until we see again, guys, thank you very much for hanging out with our partners, Diamond Groceries, and Kensington JR Designs. Thank you. We love you. We are
Thank
gone.
you. It was
Blessings.
a pleasure.